So this is the official episode 1 of Fate's Day Night Unlimited Blade Works. The other one was the prologue, so it's labeled episode 0. I don't like it when they do that, because this is the second review vlog thing, but it's of episode 1. Even though it messes with my OCD. I need things to be numbered correctly. I don't like it when they're not. So anyway, this episode opens with a really well done shot of the city on fire. Real pretty, but it's all on fire. So you kind of feel bad for liking it looking pretty, because there are charred bodies on the ground. And you don't feel right about liking the way it looks, but it's pretty. It's so pretty. We actually don't get a reason for why the city's on fire, what started it, but we do see a small Emiya, little kid Emiya, just halfway dead, but still little. He's just kind of laying there like, not actually standing there. But still. So for this episode, we actually follow Emiya instead of Ren. Emiya being the actual main character of the story. Who, for some strange reason, has 2 women in his household every morning and every night. They're not related to him, they're just there. It's his friend Sakura and his teacher from hell. The hyperactive anime teacher from hell, who honestly, she doesn't really seem to fit the tone of the show. I just said she's a hyperactive anime teacher from hell. I mean, she is bouncing all over the place, constantly laughing. I guess she's the comedic relief of the series, but she does feel oddly out of place, because anytime she's on screen, there's a complete tonal shift. So, I mean, at least she's not as bad as she was in the original. In the original one, it was like watching a completely different show. So we see that Emiya is actually also a magic user. Albeit a weaker one than what Rin is. But on the other hand, the spell we first see him use is actually pretty cool. It goes more into detail about it in the visual novel, but basically what he can do is he can touch machines, and it lets him know like how it works, like what's wrong with it, so he knows how to fix it. Which, that's pretty much every tech geek's dream whenever something goes wrong with their computers. Like mine does bad things, and I get mad at it, and I don't know what's wrong with it. So I was like, if I could just Then the next time we see him casting spells, he's in his shed playing with his rod. But it's not as dirty as it sounds. I purposely made that dirty, because I am 12. This version doesn't exactly explain what he's trying to do with it. Well, later on you see him do it again. But basically he was like trying to harden it, or change how its durability, or I can't remember. Or was he trying to change its shape? Well, now I've gone and messed myself up. I don't know. Over the course of the episode, we see that he's the kind of person that wants to help everybody. Like, one of his friends is actually kind of talking down to him, like, you never say no to when anybody asks you for help. You should probably learn to do that. And he's like, nah, it's fine, it's fine. We find out that since an event that happened 10 years ago, where in the beginning shows where the city's on fire, that actually like killed a lot of people. That left him with wanting to help everybody. He wants to be a superhero, basically. And so that's driving him forward to actually become a better magic user. Because he was, after that event, he was actually saved by another magic user and was subsequently adopted by him. And so he learned from that guy, which that's actually talked more about in Fate Zero, from what I've read in the comments. But I never watched Fate Zero because I didn't know the original story. So hopefully Crunchyroll will still have Fate Zero after this one's done, so I can go back and watch that. Then maybe that'll be kind of like, Fate Zero being the prologue of Fate Stay Night. So yes, the prologue episode actually has a prologue series. I usually don't care for prequel, not prologue, that prequel series. I'm getting my words mixed up. I mean, it is kind of the same thing. Actually, no, it's not even remotely close to the same thing. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been up like 20 hours or something like that. I don't... So over the course of the day, we meet more of his friends, I guess. One of which is a complete and total dick. He's Sakura's older brother. And it's not right because he's voiced by the same guy who was Araragi in the Montagari series. Which is not right. Hearing him be like this. He's supposed to molest the little girls, not beat them up. It's one of those weird sort of moments where you have a hard time disconnecting an actor from their previous work. Which I do that a lot with voiceover workers. It's like, even American voiceovers, they'll be like, oh, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so. And it kind of takes me out for a moment. It breaks the immersion. I hate myself for doing that. But I can't stop. So, I'm kind of getting the same way with the Japanese voiceovers. So, this is the curse of indulging too much media. You tend to pick things out that you shouldn't. Unable to ignore them. But that's another rant entirely. And to make a long story short, which isn't really a long story at all, Shinji's such a dick that he's the reason Emiya gets stabbed. He used Emiya's can't say no to anybody's sort of mentality to have him clean up a room, an archery dojo. And that's why Emiya was there at the school that night. So that had happened. Then we see what happened after he was stabbed, was from his perspective of him going home and actually having to fight off Lancer with a poster. He makes a poster, like, makes it harder, and he fights him off with it. It goes about as well as you'd expect, with him getting just curb stomped. Which, considering who Lancer is, that's no real surprise. of course, I'm a little biased towards it. You know, the Irish is strong with me, so of course I'm gonna kind of, you know, root for the Irish hero, the Irish mythological character. You know. But anyways, after all that's said and done, Amy is about to be killed off for a second time when, through the sheer power of something, he actually summons the strongest of the servant types. He summons Saber, which I have issues with that, but that's another rant entirely. And not a rant for this sort of mindset where I'm half asleep, you know. But regardless, I really do like the shot of when Saber and Emiya actually first meet, on where he's on the ground, she's standing up looking down at him. I like that. I like the visual of it. I don't know why, I just do. Maybe just because it looks kind of cool. Maybe I like the situation. I don't know. Anyways, so after some really heavily Dragon Ball Z inspired fighting between Saber and Lancer, there's a shot which looks just like something out of Dragon Ball Z. I mean, they're both just kind of standing here, and their weapons are going just at lightning speed, and it's just like, saw it on Dragon Ball Z. But it's still a very cool to look at fight, you know, and not at all realistic in any sort of capacity, but it's cool to look at. You know, the effects of Guyball are still pretty cool. I like the... Some people don't really care much for when CGI gets implemented into anime, but when done right, like it is in this, I'm all for it. So as the fight goes on, Lancer kind of realizes he's in a lot of trouble, and so he uses his ultimate ability and actually shows that his lance is Guyball, which in turn reveals that he's Cuchulainn. Fucking Hound of Ulster. Yeah, I like it. Again, the Irish mythology thrown into it is great. So anyway, after using his ultimate ability, he manages to stab Saber in the shoulder, which, if she was actually wearing proper armor and not bits and pieces of it, that might not have happened. She has her underarms and shoulders and everything down to her wrist covered, or uncovered by actual armor. It's all just cloth here. You know, the arteries here, she's got just completely unprotected. I know, it's an anime. I know. But still. And she's fighting in a dress, too, an armored dress at that. Which I mean, she can move around perfectly fine in it. But it's one of those that's like, you're supposed to be like some of the greatest. I don't know. It's just weird considering that all the men wear body tight outfits, and she's like in a big frilly dress. I mean, it's usually the other way around, so it's actually a little bit refreshing. You know, the men are fully clothed, whatever, and it's the women that have to wear the skimpy outfits. But well, there is one servant that is kind of you know, she's kind of hanging out there, but you know, Saber's not, so that's kind of cool. Just kind of wish she was more armored, you know, to actually fit. But that's a little nitpick. You know. Then shortly after the fight, Saber, still bleeding from getting stabbed in like the shoulder area, she runs off to fight Archer because Archer and Ren are there, and being, you know, not knowing anything, and this time around, Amy actually uses one of the command signs to stop Saber from fighting Archer. And that act right there actually sets them on a different course. That's what actually starts the Unlimited Blade Works arc, where in the original he just kind of lets her go, you know. So with all that, you know, said and done, or whatever, I still liked it. I still like it. It's still really good. I'm not regretting watching it. I'm not having to force myself to watch it. You know, I'd still very much recommend it. The animation has stayed really good. This was actually the last of the 50-minute episodes, so not sure how. Really, it's going to be the next couple episodes that really kind of show the average quality, because, you know, the first episode or two are usually the biggest and the flashiest and the best designed, or well, not designed, but best budgeted, I guess. So hopefully we don't end up with hopefully they don't go over budget and we end up with an Evangelion ending where it's just pasted together with footage from, you know, them walking around with camcorders recording things. But there is one thing we can look forward to next episode. We get to know if people really do die if they're killed. Don't get that reference, it's okay. That just means you didn't watch the original series. Bad translations. So much fun. And that's it. Vlog review done. Less nervous than the first one. More rambly, though in a bad way. 'Cause I'm tired. Hope you liked it. If you did, let me know. Hit the like button, because I like seeing the like button go up. There are 2 likes on the other video as of right now, and I like those 2 likes. But they need friends. They need friends. Otherwise, they're alone. I kind of hope they don't do anything dirty, because I don't need the mature tags on my channel page. Not yet, anyways. Hi, kitty. Hello, Eddie. He wants to be in the video. I'm not pushing him away.